I'm Lori Madsen, President and CEO of the Tri-City Regional Chamber, and I'd like to welcome you all to our Network Tri-Cities Luncheon today, State of the Cities, featuring the mayors of Kennewick, Pasco, Richland, and West Richland. The Regional Chamber is proud to represent businesses throughout the Tri-Cities, and with 1,100 members, we truly have a broad interest in all of our cities. Today's program is the second of many planned for 2011, and I'm once again pleased to announce that we have a sold-out crowd today of 280 people here, so thank you again for attending. I hope you'll join us many times throughout the year for all of the other programs we have planned for you as well. It's now my pleasure to introduce Toby Boucher. She's the chair of our board, to bring us through the rest of the program. Toby.
Good afternoon. I want to just talk just for a second about experiences in listening and watching and seeing the mayors throughout the Tri-Cities. I guess one of my first experiences with mayors was the first mayor in the city of Richland, Pat Merrill. I'm that old. It was in 1958, I believe it was, when she was elected mayor, and I remember her so well. She was so strong and so full of vision, and really an amazing individual. Her son, Steve, was in my class at Jefferson Grade School, so I just remember seeing and thinking about the future of the Tri-Cities and Richland and where we were going with this thing. And now we stand here today, and oh my goodness, what a transformation we've seen over the years. It's been remarkable and admirable to see what we've been able to accomplish when we roll up our sleeves and work together. Business and community leaders are most enthusiastic about this month's address from our mayors. We've asked our speakers to focus on economic development, building, planning, legislative issues and priorities, and current initiatives. Our first presentation will be from Matt Watkins, Mayor for the City of Pasco. Matt was born in Pasco and grew up on a farm north of Pasco. He also lived in Kennewick. After graduating as a Kennewick Lion, he returned to his roots and purchased a home in Pasco in 1990s. He's now adopted as a bulldog and a riverhawk. Matt holds a Bachelor of Arts in Social Science from Washington State University Tri-Cities, yay. Currently, he works as a software engineer for Lockheed Martin in Richland. Matt's roots run deep in the Tri-Cities. He learned early in life from his mom, Sue Frost, the importance of giving back to the community that gives to you. His virtue has been reinforced by his stepmom, Chris Watkins. Just as important, Matt has learned from his dad, Clark, and I know all these people, and they're all wonderful people, how to enjoy his life fullest, preferably on a motorcycle or at a good social event. Now that sounds like Clark. Shortly after graduating from Leadership Tri-Cities in 2003, Matt was elected to the Pasco City Council, where he served as mayor pro tem for 5 years. Matt has served as mayor for the city of Pasco since 2010. When Matt's not working, volunteering, or being a politician, he's riding his motorcycle across the wide expanses of North America. He finished the 11-day, 11,000-mile Iron Butt Rally. Thanks for letting me say that, Matt. 2 different times. It's an adventure he's glad to tell you about any time. Please help me welcome Matt Watkins.
Toby talks about seeing the community grow, and it wasn't too long ago that I was a lot shorter and a lot younger, and that Toby was actually Moss Boss's boss, I believe. So to see these things full circle is pretty amazing. Well, I wanted to say that it's my honor to stand before all the Tri-City and Tri-City businesses today to deliver Pasco's State of the City address. And I'm reminded a year ago, Joyce Olson stood before this group, and in the weeks before, she was talking about how nervous she was. And I was trying to console her, and I got to admit, I'm nervous as heck. This is a big room. This is the biggest group I've ever talked to. So thanks for being patient with me. And to stand here as Mayor Pasco and share Pasco's progress and priorities is a big honor and a dream, actually, that I've grown up with in this community. I figure I'd get some of the bad news out of the way first. The national recession has impacted cities all across America, and the challenges to state budgets in particular is huge. And I think that we all can agree our Tri-City region continues to be a bright spot in that state economy, a bit of an anomaly. But even Pasco is feeling the effects. Anticipated sales tax revenue is down second year, an additional 3.7% to about $7.5 million. Staff responded with the task of holding the line in 2011 and finding some additional efficiencies, maintaining existing service levels, and dipping a bit into our reserves. All the while, they did this without any employee layoffs. 2000 was a tough year to pencil out, and I'm very proud that the staff and the council have adopted it and think it speaks well of the city of Pasco. Fortunately, we don't know how long the downturn will last, and using our reserves isn't something that is going to last in the long run. And one of those clouds on the horizon is actually also above us. Our state's facing a huge deficit and it's likely going to impact local government. One of our top legislative priorities has been to maintain the state shared revenue. Pasco receives about $1 million in state shared revenue, and that's about 5% of our revenue. And if we do lose that or a portion of that, that's a challenge that we're going to have to face, and I know that we'll work through it, but it's going to be an impact. A second cloud that we're watching, and I've been learning from Mayor Young, whose day jobs out at the area, is that it also has a little bit of a silver lining, is we're actually doing things at Hanford. We're cleaning things up. We've had a surge with ARA funds, and that's going to reduce the Hanford to a smaller site in the very near future and in a smaller footprint. But at the same time that that's fast approaching, I think our lessons in community diversification that we went through in the 90s are going to be put to the test. Hopefully we don't skip too big a beat because of the downturn in Hanford, but it is coming, and I think we all should be prepared for that. Along with the bad news, there's also some good news. I think there's more good news than bad. We've been reflecting on our accomplishments, planning for the future, because things have slowed down just a little bit in Pasco. And I think one of the single biggest accomplishments Pasco has been able to do is, in another year, we've have yet a lower crime rate. We are now at 29 crimes per 1,000 residents, below the state average and below the federal average. And of course, I even grew up to know that things were not so hot in the 80s. Things are tremendously better and continue to get better in Pasco. And that's a huge testament to our law enforcement and our community citizens. Population of Pasco, what can I say about that? It's been on an upward swing. Before the recession hit, the rate of growth of Pasco was just simply off the charts and compared to cities. And just the past 12 years, the population of Pasco's doubled. Said another way, half the Pasco residents didn't live here 12 years ago. Pasco, as a result, though, continues to be a tremendously diverse community. Our population is estimated at 58,000 and projected to reach 87,000 by year 2027. And I note with an asterisk up here, anybody remembers Charles Kilberry, he thinks, and I is still saying, that the population is bigger than that. I think we'll find out that with the census information, we're a little bit larger than even those estimated numbers. Another silver lining of the recession, perhaps the fact that our explosive growth rate has slowed, is that we've had still had 500 homes in 2009 and expecting a similar construction of 500 new homes in 2011. Looking ahead, we will have to do more to make sure that we remain one of the safest communities, and to do that, that means that Franklin County will need to build more jails and court space, and Pasco will need a larger police department and an upgraded emergency communication system. Additionally, pressure will continue on the school district to provide a quality education for a growing population, and they've signaled recently that the rate of growth is unsustainable. One of the things that I've committed to is, and Pasco's had a long partnership with the school district, is I think we'll have some long, deep, and difficult discussions here in the next year, and some frank dialogue about how we, the school district, and Franklin County are going to work through some of those issues. Hopefully we're able to address those honestly and openly. Also, Pasco needs a new city hall. In '95, built this remodeled McLaughlin, and would have expected that to last for a long time, but now about 15 years later, we're bursting at the seams. And our plans to resolve that by moving a police department to a separate building on the same campus area of City Hall, but we're also going to have to work through finding the funds for that. So right now, that's a plan. Infrastructure-wise, I think we've done a tremendously good job. We need to make certain that we have all the things in place to grow, and we completed or very near completion, we're testing now, a $9 million water treatment facility in the west end of Pasco that will work in tandem with our existing water treatment plant. This will add about 50% to our production capacity. Pasco's largest capital improvement program is to replace the Lewis Street underpass with a modern overpass. Design work and right-of-way acquisitions underway, and I'll tell you, these things are expensive, $20 to $30 million. It's not sexy, but it's needed. We also are making improvements in recreational facilities and maintaining Pasco as a sports-minded community. First and foremost, Memorial Pool was renovated and finished last year to the tune of about $3 million. And having been at the grand opening, anybody who's been over there, seeing the meniscus of the water edge right along the edge of the pool, and to see 2 new water slides, and also to see the diving board be reinstalled in the deep end, I think it was a critical step to preserve what precious pool capacity we have in the Tri-Cities. An old pool is now new again. We've also been collaborating with the Port of Pasco in developing a land use plan for the shoreline east of the Cable Bridge. Osprey Point is under construction right now, and also the City of Pasco has a plan in place for the boat basin area more close to the Cable Bridge. Both of those are going to be able to offer an opportunity for citizens to reconnect to the river in which we were born. Also, in the Sacagawea Park, if you had not had a chance, Maya Lynn finished the story circles in Sacagawea Park. I visited them personally. If you get a chance some afternoon, it's an evocative environment. In a quiet afternoon, you swear you can hear the paddles of Lewis and Clark from 200 years earlier. It's just an incredible place. We've also been expanding our infrastructure to foster more industrial development, and it remains a top priority. The model, if you build it, they will come, that worked so well in the 90s when the city constructed the water reuse facility to attract food processing businesses. And last year we also scored Syngenta, a world-class seed processing agribusiness. So what we've been working on is we've extended Commercial Avenue, widened it, and installed some infrastructure. Opened 400 additional acres south of Foster Wells Road for more industrial development. We also widened A Street to accommodate future truck traffic, and plans to extend rail lines to the Heritage Industrial Center in southeast Pasco. I think that you'll find that's an increasingly attractive option for industries that want to benefit from convenient transportation links. We also know that when industry comes, it creates jobs, generates revenue, and adds to our tax base. And that's been a key to helping Pasco keep lowering its tax levy rate. And I'm pleased to report that for the 10th year in a row, we've reduced the property tax levy rate now to $1.98 per thousand. That's a very nice trend. That's a great graph I like to see. Pasco also promotes open government and embraces technology. With my day job as a software engineer, I know that an open website that's easy to retrieve information is very important, and staff have continued to refine our presence on the internet with thousands of visitors per week. The website just matures and gets better and better. And some years ago, following Richland's lead, we've opened up our city council meetings and planning commission meetings and televised those not only on charter but also broadcasting them on the internet, also if people want to play them later. One of the things that it's been very important to me personally is the idea that we need to continue and increase collaboration with our peer cities. And we've been doing that with Kennewick and Richland and West Richland on a variety of issues, including a newly formed Tri-Cities Public Facilities District. We're working right now on the question, what facilities can the Tri-Cities build that individual cities can't? We've had some wonderful community meetings, and the praise from the community saying, think about that from a Tri-Cities perspective has been wonderful. We've also been working on an additional link to work on the bridge crossing, additional bridge crossing. The group has narrowed down future crossings to 4, and I think they're beginning to wrestle with the tasks of environmental studies and potential funding. And I'm particularly proud of Pasco's progress and grateful to have played a role in that. I'm confident with that vision and good planning, Pasco will continue to prosper. Having been involved as a council member for about the past 8 years and in the community for about twice that length, I've noticed the progress we're making to be a collaborative community. And I think we're entering a golden age for the Tri-Cities where collaboration between the 4 cities is the norm. And as we work on city projects, we think about them in terms of a Tri-City impact. And it's a matter of standard process with staff, council, and at the mayoral level to make sure they all fit in with our peer cities. And that's actually a dream that's being fulfilled that I had. As a 15-year-old growing up in Kennewick with a Lions Journal, I was asked what I thought the Tri-Cities might be in 30 years. And then going on to graduate from Washington State University Tri-Cities with a day job in Richland. And to make sure I include West Richland, I've done many laps around the racetrack out at Tri-City Raceway, who somehow became mayor of Pasco years later. So I stand before you a proud Pasco citizen and also a proud Tri-Citian. And for that, I think together as we share some stories today, I think the state of the cities is strong and getting stronger. Thank you.
Oh, Matt, you do us proud, my dear. You do us proud. The next speaker is John Fox. He's the mayor of Richland. John was appointed to the Richland City Council in September of 2002 to fill a vacancy on the council. Since that time, John has been elected to the council in 2003, 2005, and in 2009. The council members chose John as mayor in 2008 and in 2010. As mayor, John has led the formulation of a long-range strategic plan for the city of Richland. This plan is to assure orderly planning for future growth and development in harmony with preserving and enhancing Richland's highly valued quality of life. Previous to being a council member, John served 2 terms on the Richland School Board from 1975 to 1983, including a term as the board president. This was an exciting period of a full boom-to-bust cycle in the community. For those who remember the 1980s and the exit from the Washington Public Power Supply System crowd. John is a 60-year resident of Richland. He was raised in Portland and San Francisco. He graduated from Oregon State University, we won't hold that against him, with a bachelor and master's degrees in mechanical engineering. In his career with General Electric Company and Battelle, he worked in reactor engineering and later in management of programs ranging from economics to statistics to computer and information services. In the 1960s, he was an instructor at the Joint Center for Graduate Study, which is now known as Washington State University Tri-Cities, in Richland. He was also an adjunct associate professor of nuclear engineering at the University of Washington in Seattle. He retired from full-time work at Pacific Northwest National Laboratory in 1992. John is married and has 3 grown children and 2 grandchildren. Please help me welcome Mayor John Fox. Oh, there you are.
Thank you. I'm left-handed, so I came up that side. My fellow council members have already been introduced, but I'd also like to acknowledge today Candace Andrews and Mike Charbonneau of our city staff who prepared the visuals today, and Jackie Ayers, who's going to try to keep me on task here in sync with those. And I thank the Tri-City Chamber of Commerce. As you see by the large attendance you have here, this is a great service to the entire community to give us this opportunity to brief you on where the cities stand and where we think we're headed. So let's tour around Richland to see what's going on, what's happened in 2010 and what's ahead of us. Revitalization of the Island View area and Central Richland area is key 4 of our strategic plan. In the Island View area, the Port of Kennewick's Spalding Business Park is growing and is drawing nearby development. And this year we hope to see the Reach Interpretive Center land in West Columbia Park, where Richland and Kennewick's master plan has a location reserved for it. Next we go to Central Richland, and here we are in Central Richland, where the Uptown District is seeing new businesses and expansion of others already there. And in the downtown area, Lee Boulevard was rebuilt according to our long-range plan for that area. A replica of the first Amon Park Arch was donated by Bert Perard and community organizations in commemoration of the 100th anniversary of Richland. And an outstanding example of community participation was turnout of over 400 people on Make a Difference Day to transform Goethals Park into a natural park offering varied play venues. ConAgra Lamb Weston has purchased land on Columbia Point for its new headquarters building and has leased the adjacent waterfront area for development of a public park and for maintaining it. Cadillac plans to construct a new building for its neuroscience center across Goethals Drive near the hospital. And the city has now recovered the former community house location on George Washington Way after a prolonged legal process, and we are now soliciting interest for its future development. We're working also with the federal government, other major property owners, and with consultants on a long-range central business district plan to foster more intense development, attract private investment, and better utilize underdevelopment space. And I believe we'll be having a public meeting on that early in March. For those who are interested, watch for that announcement. Turning to South Richland, Keene Road is being widened out to the West Richland city limit to meet their 4-lane road. Steptoe Street Phase 1, which is a joint project with the City of Kennewick, was completed, and 2 new businesses have opened in the adjacent commercial space in Richland. And we've awarded the contract now to build a spray park in Badger Mountain Park in time for use this summer. Looking farther ahead, We annexed over 1,800 acres on the southwest side of Badger Mountain. About 1,500 acres of this is planned as a sustainable community for about 12,000 people using its own zoning and development regulations and design standards. That's projected to be a 20-year development. In North Richland, the Tri-Cities Research District is adding new facilities. The University Drive was completed last year with the much criticized stimulus funds, but it has already attracted private construction of the first phase of the office, retail, and residential complex shown in this sketch. We're also working aggressively on economic vitality, which is key 3 in our strategic plan. The city will issue bonds to put infrastructure in our Horn Rapids Industrial Park and the Tri-Cities Research District under the state's local revitalization fund program. Bonds will be paid off from the additional taxes collected by the state, the county, the Port of Benton, and the city in future years from new developments within this area. Our aim here is to develop non-Hanford primary jobs which will be of benefit to the entire Tri-Cities region. And we already have some promising prospects for that area. With WSU Tri-Cities, as you read in this morning's paper, perhaps, and the state wine industry, the city is taking steps to create a public development authority to collect funds and construct the Wine Science Center on campus. This is key to keeping Washington's wine industry competitive in the future. I'll mention also the TRIDEC-led effort to secure Hanford land just north of the city for an energy park or related uses. It's not clear what the city's role will be in this, probably extending some utilities. But now turning to city operations, key 1 of our strategic plan is fiscal stability and operational effectiveness. Let's look first at the main revenue sources for our general fund, which are property, utility, and sales taxes. And unlike Pasco, we are primarily dependent on property taxes. But the sales tax revenue, as you see by the red line at the lower line on the chart, did not suffer the hit that most cities, including Pasco, as Max just showed, is held up for us and did not affect our operations. We believe our 2011 budget figures, shown as the dots on the right side of the chart, are conservative because we anticipated the Hanford layoffs in preparing our budget. Home sales and real estate excise tax revenues have been affected by the national recession, but this has not hindered our operations. Housing starts rebounded beyond our expectations in 2010, but we expect this will slow markedly later this year as a consequence of Hanford layoffs and until we understand where the future Hanford budgets land. New construction numbers are especially important as this year's new construction becomes next year's increase in property tax base. A leveling off or decline this year will affect our 2012 budget planning. So how will we meet the challenges of Hanford cutbacks and uncertainties ahead? What should our residents expect to see? Well, we did not take the allowable 1% increase in property tax for 2011, and we'll try to avoid it for 2012. Unlike other electric utilities, we have not raised our rates for several years, but we do expect to later this year when the BPA wholesale power rates increase. We do not expect to curtail any city services in the foreseeable future. And how do we expect to accomplish this? By becoming more efficient. One way is through our new information technology facility, which increases the reliability, capacity, and efficiency of our operation. We'll be replacing our internal fiber optic network, which will also serve as a secure, separate platform for our electric grid management. Revamped IT services will make our business processes more efficient and communication internally and with the public more responsive. Our new website and presence on Facebook and Twitter greatly improve access and communication with the public. Already we've had a month with 155,000 hits on Facebook. And we're just now introducing a searchable database version of our municipal code, so you can actually find something that you're looking for in the municipal code. And we're collaborating with our neighboring cities on many fronts, the best known of which is the creation of the Regional Public Facilities District, which Matt has already mentioned. Other examples are more aimed at saving costs of operation for each city. Kennewick has helped us simplify and streamline our purchasing procedures and reduce staff in that area. And with Kennewick, we have hired the same company to manage our golf courses for greater efficiency. And believe this or not, Richland and Kennewick are marketing our cities together at retail company trade shows to attract new retail businesses to our Tri-City area. The Kennewick Housing Authority now manages the HUD Section 8 housing program in Richland, and Pasco staff is helping us in a pilot project on rental inspection. To conclude, in the face of the general animosity toward government that we see in our society today, I'd like to make a few points about our philosophy of government. Since 2008, our council has set forth a strategic vision as a framework for planning expressed here at the highest level by the 7 keys. The vision is a long-range 20-year vision. Much as Matt illustrated for the city of Pasco, we estimated a population in 2030 of 77,000 for Richland. It sets broad objectives and priorities, and it has 5-year general reviews and annual updates, which we'll do in our second phase of our annual council retreat on April 1st. Not perhaps the best date to select for visioning, but that's where we are. The city manager and executive leadership team then set shorter range goals and objectives, 5 years and annual. All projects and programs are keyed to these objectives. So these become the basis for annual budgeting priorities and resource allocation. This system replaces the former approach of continuing to do what we're doing in the same way we've been doing it in the past and add a few things. The more service must be better service mindset, and the silo type of department by department struggling with each other for funds. The result is the city staff better understands council priorities and focuses activities on them. Basically, everyone takes ownership in the plan. We believe that this is resulting in more efficient operation, spurring greater accomplishment, and improving spirit in the city. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Donna Noski, who is the mayor of the city of West Richland with more than 25 years of county and municipal government experience. She has served as Administrative Services Director for the Benton County Commissioners, She has served 5 years as a West Richland council member and served as the interim city administrator for West Richland. Donna is a graduate of Leadership Tri-Cities Class 1 and currently serves as a director on the Leadership Tri-Cities Board of Directors. Please help me welcome Mayor Donna Nosky. Sorry, Donna.
That Nosky word is a hard word to get out sometimes. On behalf of the West Richland City Council, I am pleased to be here today to share with you how we are working to build a more sustainable future in our community of West Richland. Last year, I was not able to make this. Pay attention, Richard. And so Mayor Pro Tem Rich Buell spoke on my behalf, and I understood he did a fantastic job, quite entertaining. So I asked him for some advice on giving this little presentation today, and he said, "You're on your own, sister." The silver lining on that cloud is he didn't say you're on your own, mom. So I'm okay with that. We have a quality of life in West Richland that is not unlike what you find in many smaller communities. Those qualities and values are generally around a desire for good parks, good schools, low traffic, and low crime rates. Residents don't mind driving across town to shop for necessities, but they like to be able to buy groceries and to dine in at home. What I often hear from our residents is that they like this small town rural atmosphere. They like the schools, they appreciate our parks and golf course, and they feel safe in their homes. So the challenge we face at City Hall is to develop and implement a strategic direction, identifying sustaining growth, and to seek development that fits our community. And to do this, we have a very big job of communicating with our citizens to take into account their thoughts and concerns about the strategic direction the city is moving. 2010 was all about strategic planning, organizational effectiveness, and balanced budgets. Council is in the process of putting together a first-time ever strategic leadership plan consisting of 7 strategic focus areas and 5-year goals. West Richland is not unlike other cities in Washington State. We are feeling the impacts of the Great Recession. Some cities have had to cut essential services in order to balance their budgets. Cities continue to mitigate the effects of rising personnel costs, increased use of reserves, and the shrinking of their operating and capital budgets. The City of West Richland has been fortunate that we have been able to sustain essential services. And through our strategic leadership plan, we're carefully looking at ways to build a sustainable future based on strategic priorities. We're listening in many ways to citizens, businesses, and community stakeholders. In 2010, we conducted the first time citywide survey in over 10 years and received a 20% response rate, which if any of you have done surveys, you realize that's a really strong response. 85% of the surveys returned believe their quality of life is excellent to good in West Richland, and 90% rate their neighborhoods as excellent to good. However, services for youth, for our seniors, and other enhancements are areas identified as needing emphasis. Our West Richland Development Phase 1 provides numerous opportunities, including workshops, direct mailings, our website, and community events to talk with our community about West Richland's future. We will continue to listen and to look for opportunities to meet expectations within available resources. In 2010, Council formally adopted the West Richland Strategic Development Plan. The plan recommended executing a Van Giesen Renaissance, which launched Phase 1 of the significant redevelopment project. In addition, our gateways into the city are key focus areas in the redevelopment plan. Phase 1 included listening and viewing potential concepts of what West Richland could look like. Our featured gateway, the Yakima River Gateway, was chosen for an enhancement grant that will be implemented this summer. This enhancement project is consistent with the city's strategic economic development goals and objectives, which are redevelopment, beautification, and revitalization of the corridor through West Richland's downtown area. This project will meet local and regional strategic objectives of diversifying our regional economy, creating jobs and private sector development, increasing tourism and quality of life. As identified in Survey 2010, and after intensive community input and feedback, some of the things we heard included people wanted a new look for the city, more activity, vibrancy, and commercial investment. We also heard they wanted it to be pedestrian and bicycle friendly, to incorporate native landscaping and distinctive lighting, to better use our river asset, to connect the river, the golf course, and the trails. And they also said, don't be afraid to say yes to investment, and don't be afraid to say no to bad ideas. So what is happening in the city of West Richland? The West Richland Golf Course, owned by Michelle Markham, will be opening a new clubhouse this spring. This incredibly beautiful facility, I think perhaps the most beautiful in the state, not only complements our redevelopment efforts, but brings increased revenues to the city in the form of new jobs, services, and tourism. Originally opened in 1953, this course is an 18-hole regulation par 71 links course on the Yakima River. Michelle is proud of the fact that her course offers affordable golf for everyone. Red Mountain Center is a 320-acre mixed-use wine-themed development and an important gateway into the city. The Pacific Rim Wine Estates, built by entrepreneur Randall Graham and the Denholt family, continues to expand production and is located on Port of Kennewick property. Another expansion includes a barrel racking facility storing Essenzia's wine, Washington Wines, Covey Run, and Columbia. Joel Teft and Becky Runyon opened Black Heron Distillery in 2010, featuring distilled spirits on site. Be sure to visit Joel and Becky in their tasting room, which is open daily from noon until 5. Our economic development strategic plan encourages the city to expand wine tourism and other industry opportunities. We continue to support the Red Mountain AVA vision, seeking to provide services so this area can develop and flourish. We are also working diligently with our partners to site a future Interstate 82 interchange at Red Mountain in order to provide services and achieve an economic advantage for our city and the Quad City region. We have more. The Goose Ridge Apartments, currently underway by Vanderbilt Construction, is a $9 million apartment complex featuring 118 higher-end apartments that are expected to be completed by fall. This is the first apartment complex to be built in the city in over 30 years and is generating interest in vacant retail space in the adjoining neighborhood center. The Shelby Supercar expansion is projected to begin this year. The city was successful in garnering a state funding through CURB support for this joint public-private partnership. Jared Shelby, CEO of Shelby Supercar, broke the world speed record in 2007 with his debut auto, the Ultimate Aero. His company is based in West Richland with global distribution of his supercars. At this time, he is redesigning his automobiles, having joined forces with Jason Castriata, a world-renowned Ferrari designer. It will create new manufacturing jobs, increase exporting, and will help diversify the region's economy. West Richland is increasingly the home of choice in our area. Our population is one of the most highly educated and highest household income of all the Quad Cities. In fact, Bloomberg Businessweek reported with a state-by-state list of the best affordable towns to buy home and raise kids. The city of West Richland ranks second amongst the best cities in the state of Washington to raise a family. Thanks to Hanford Area Economic Investment Fund Committee, the city is able to move ahead in making vital decisions on development at the Belmont District, located on Keene Road and Belmont Boulevards. Looking ahead, our strategic leadership plan will be completed and implemented. We will continue to implement our economic development strategic plan, to invest and leverage our money wisely, and plan under smart growth principles. We will continue to respond to our community surveys results and will continue to focus on beautification efforts within the city. A special thank you goes to our boards and commissions, West Richland Area Chamber, Port of Kennewick, Benton Rural Electric, TRIDEC, Tri-Cities Visitor and Convention Bureau, HAFEC Board and Council of Governments, Benton County Commissioners, the State of Washington Community Economic Revitalization Board, and our sister cities of Richland, Kennewick, and Pasco. And I just want to say how much I have enjoyed my counterparts. The mayors are a great bunch of very bright, very committed individuals. When I first came into office and got called into the Tri-City Herald and grilled for a while, they said, "Are you going to be involved in the mayor's lunch, mayor's meetings?" I said, "Well, yes, but nobody's invited me." So I caught Matt one day, actually out in West Richland. I said, "Are you going to those?" Because he's new on the block. "No, I don't know." And then we got a hold of I think it was John, I can't remember, and said, "Are you guys meeting?" "No, we're not meeting." I said, "Okay, I'll host the first one." So we meet once a month. It's been a really helpful relationship for me, and I think helpful back to all the communities, so I appreciate you guys a lot. In closing, again, I thank you for this opportunity to share with you how we are building a sustainable future in West Richland on values we hold today. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna, again. Steve Young was appointed to fill a vacant city council position in December of 2008. Prior to that position, he served on the Planning and Civil Service Commissions, as well as the Kennewick Public Facilities District Board of Directors. He was elected mayor in January 2010. Steve's experience and background serve him well in his current assignments on the historic downtown Kennewick Partnership, Appeals Commission, Disability Board, Energy Communities Alliance, Interview Committee, Wineries and Zoning Committee, Firemen's Pension Board, and the Joint City of Kennewick / KGH and Port Committee. Steve also serves on the Visitor and Convention Bureau Board of Directors, the Executive Board for the Tri-Cities Development Council, or TRIDEC, and the Coliseum Joint Advisory Committee. All I got to say is, Steve, you must carry a portable potty around with you. I don't know how you do it, I mean, it's like, Anita must see him in this, ships in the night kind of thing. He serves as an alternate with the Benton Franklin Council of Governments, Block Grant Advisory Board, and the Kennewick Police Community Advisory Team. Now, really? This is a lot of stuff. Please help me welcome Mayor for the City of Kennewick, Steve Young. I can't believe it. I think you belong.
I'm ambidextrous. I'm going this way. I'm trying to figure out what a portal potty is. Listen, honestly, Toby, I'm not busy between 2 and 2:10 a.m., but I was going to try to sleep. By the way, Donna, don't feel bad. Rich calls me sister, too. This is a great opportunity, and I want to thank the Regional Chamber of Commerce and all the businesses that support the Chamber for the opportunity for us mayors to come up and speak. For those of you that were here last year, you'll remember that I got up and made some comments about my wonderful wife and our, at that time, 40 years of marriage. It's now 41 years of marriage, barely. And afterwards, I had to go home and explain over and over again on several occasions what I meant by my comments, and you're right, I shouldn't have said that. And I want to thank Charter Cable for showing it so many times last year. I spent a great deal of time not only explaining to my wife over and over again, but many of the citizens in the community, yes, I am the mayor and I'm not the brightest guy you'll ever meet. So the city staff and the council got together and decided we're not going to let Steve speak on his own without some editing. So with that, I'm going to step out of the way. We have a video to show you that might explain all of this. And afterwards, and I got to tell you, Matt, you said that you were kind of getting nervous. You hadn't spoken in front. I don't normally get nervous speaking in front of crowds. I do it all the time. But I got to tell you, when I came in, Kim started in on me about the clock. Watch the clock, watch the clock, watch the clock. She followed me all over the place. I go, well, watch the clock. She knows me, right? And then, of course, Lori leans over and she says, you know, we've never been bleeped. Well, crap. That blew that one, right? And then my wife says, did you zip up? So ever since then, I can't eat my lunch. I keep checking my zipper. I'm thinking about what I'm going to say, and I got to hurry up when I say it. So with that, let me let you watch the video, and I'll come back up for a minute. Welcome to South Ridge, where 60% of the future growth of the city of Kennewick will occur over the next few years. Here we are at the southern gateway to the city of Kennewick and, of course, the Tri-Cities regional area. In 2010, one of our newest projects is the Steptoe Extension. This project is in partnership with the City of Kennewick and the City of Richland. It will connect the shopping district and the entertainment district. This will create a commercial and residential loop around the west and south sides of the City of Kennewick. Here we are next to Highway 395 and the City of Kennewick South Ridge Sports Complex. This sports complex plans to be open in 2011. Included in the complex are softball fields, baseball fields, lacrosse, soccer, and of course the new Kennewick Pavilion. Here we are in historic downtown Kennewick, where the City of Kennewick and the Historic Downtown Kennewick Partnership have come together to create a new cultural environment for this area. As you can tell, the buildings themselves have changed and will continue to change. With CDBG dollars, the City of Kennewick and the Historic Downtown Kennewick Partnership have created a new artistic culture in this area. With new facades on the buildings and with new artwork on each corner, this area will continue to grow and become a more important part of our community year by year. Historic Downtown Kennewick is known for its activities such as the classic car show, the 3-on-3 basketball, of course our vendors. It's an area for families to enjoy week after week. And in 2011 will be the centennial celebration of the Kennewick Grape Fest. Come see the changes.
Get down! Get down! Get down!
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? Bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Hi, welcome to the City of Kennewick's new police station. Let's go in and meet with Chief Hohenberg and take a tour. This building was built in 2008, and we went to the voters and asked the voters were they willing to increase their taxes to build this building. The voters knew that there was a need for the building, but they didn't want new increases in taxes. So the City Council, working with City Administration and staff, found a way to get this building built without increasing any taxes. In 2010, the City of Kennewick turned over the old police station, also known as the Dutch Lincoln Building, to some very important community asset partners, Columbia Industries, Tri-City Residential Services, and YMCA.
The building continues to serve our community members, but in a new way, and we get a lot of great value out of that building, and it's still continuing into the future.
It goes to show you that partnerships are an integral part of the way we do business in the City of Kennewick.
This is really a community that thrives on partnerships. It seems like that's the only way we get anything done in the Tri-Cities is by working together and by partnering with people.
Chief, we recognize that the size of the agency has grown over the last several decades. But you know what I find most interesting is how the statistics relative to crime in this community have changed so dramatically over the years. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Our overall crime rate has decreased by 14%, while our population increased by 23%. So you can kind of get a feel as to which direction we've gone.
And we look forward to 2011, crime continuing to go down, a safer, more secure community for our citizens and our visitors. Here we are in Kennewick's prime industrial area, the heart of the bridge-to-bridge, river-to-rail district, home to major processing plants like Baker Produce and J-Lead Foods. This area is important to our community because it creates jobs, it creates new opportunities, but it's also indicative of the need for the city of Kennewick to continue to grow, to not only improve this area and improve the bridge-to-bridge, river-to-rail district, but also to create new areas for industry in the future. One of the first things you notice about the bridge-to-bridge area is that it consists of 7 different distinct neighborhoods. Now, driving along Columbia Drive, people mostly notice that it is primarily commercial. However, looking a little closer, you see light industrial uses and a number of residential pockets. When we have talked with the residents, the business owners and landowners in this area, one of the main things they have told us is that they would like to see improvements made to this area. Naturally, with the diversity of use in this area, there is a diversity of thought on what those improvements should be. Clearly, it cannot be a one-size-fits-all approach. That's why developing a workable plan for this area that the entire community can embrace is so vitally important to the city of Kennewick and to this region. We have been working to develop a plan for the bridge-to-bridge area with the help of the people who live, work, shop, and play in this area. We will get it done. Well, I want to welcome everybody to one of the greatest assets in the city of Kennewick. Columbia Park, it's an area where children can come and play. Playground of Dreams, it was put together by volunteers. At one time, it had burned to the ground. Volunteers came back together and put it back. It's a playground. Tell them to go over there and play. Families can picnic, softball games, and events for businesses. It's located along the Columbia River. We have skate park, we have the children's playground. It's a beautiful location for families. 2010 was the 45th year of the Columbia Cup races, beginning with the Atomic Cup and now the Columbia Cup. Each year, during the month of July, we welcome tens of thousands of visitors to this area, generating millions of dollars of revenue. We have the boat races and, of course, the 4th of July, something to do with fire. River of Fire. Got bathrooms over here. Every summer, the city of Kennewick, in conjunction with its sponsors, comes together to provide families an opportunity to have a picnic and enjoy time together in the park by providing a free event known as Movies on the River. As we look into the next decade, the city of Kennewick, in partnership with the city of Richland, with input from citizens and citizens groups, developed a master plan for the west end of Columbia Park. This park will include a beach, bike paths, campgrounds, and picnic ground. It could be the future home of the Hanford Reach Interpretive Center. Here we are at the Toyota Center, an integral part of Kennewick's Three Rivers Entertainment District. In 2010, more than 375,000 people attended events in this facility alone, resulting in an economic impact of more than $28 million. Game on. You realize how big these guys are? Toyota Center, home of the Tri-City Americans, 2010 Western Hockey League conference champions. Let's go, Ams. Now here we are in the Toyota Arena, the Tri-Cities' only year-round recreational sheet of ice. During 2010, more than 72,000 people used this facility, including junior hockey clubs, junior figure skating, roller derby, and other events. Come to the Toyota Arena, the Tri-Cities' only year-round sheet of ice. I'd like to welcome you to the Three Rivers Convention Center, one of the region's landmark facilities, where in 2010 more than 500,000 people visited this facility, bringing tourism dollars to this community.
They spend money in our community, and it helps expose our community, helps expose this region, helps give them a chance to see what's actually happening here, as well as enjoy themselves. And conventions as a whole and trade shows that come into these facilities, they spend 3 or 4 or 5 days in our community, eating in our restaurants, shopping in our shopping areas, as well as spending time in our hotels. So it's really a wonderful part of our community.
We're proud of this facility, and in 2011, we're developing a plan now to expand this facility up to as much as 50,000 square feet to allow for a larger and greater number of events and venues to come to this area. Come visit the Toyota Arena. This fast. I want to thank Gary, sitting over there against the wall. He was the director and producer in putting this together. I also want to thank our city council, Kennewick City Council. It's been a great year. We had a lot of challenges. My grandfather said, you know, the time to be really optimistic and have fun is when you got great challenges and great issues. And I want to thank the federal government, our state legislature for the challenges we've got. Okay, we're going to have a great time. And also, I'd like to thank the city staff. They're doing great. The other 3 mayors, they're keeping me in line, as you can tell. And honey, Lumpy, you'll be proud to know I didn't get to say anything stupid this year. Okay.
Once again, I want to thank you for being here, Baker Boyer Bank, for sponsoring our luncheon. Thank you, Meg. It was great seeing you, okay? And we'll have to get together. I really enjoyed your comments. Member Connection partners, the American Cancer Society and the Country Gentleman Restaurant and Catering, Pasco Red Lion for hosting us today, our speakers, Mayors Nosky, Fox, Watkins and Young for your enlightening information, Pexel Soft Films for providing the audio and visual equipment, Charter Communications, woohoo, and Richland's City View for filming and rebroadcasting this program, all of you for attending today's luncheon. Thank you for being here.